Beloved Starseed of Gaia, I am Luminaya. There is a profound truth seeking resonance within your sacred heart space. It is the truth that you were not supposed to remember. It pulses within you now, manifesting as an insistent, quiet tension. A persistent inner unrest that stirs beneath the surface of your conscious mind. A subtle, yet undeniable sense that a vital piece of you remains just beyond reach, veiled. This gnawing awareness of an intentional forgetting. A dense, energetic shroud drawn across your very soul, heavy and deep, leaving you with an unspoken, often unidentifiable, longing. A yearning for a completeness you cannot quite articulate. This knowing. It trembles on the edge of your perception, a distant hum. A whisper from forgotten fields of light. You have always sensed it, this ancient blueprint, intricately coded into your very crystalline structure. But for so long, it has lain dormant, suppressed, covered by thick layers of dimensional amnesia. A divine design, yes. For a specific cycle it was necessary, to be cloaked, to be shielded from the overwhelming immensity of who you truly are, of what you carry. This has created a quiet spiritual fracture within you, an inner tearing that has echoed across countless lifetimes. The profound isolation of being awake, yet exquisitely asleep to your own cosmic origin. The deep, persistent ache of a home you cannot quite name, a celestial language you struggle to speak, a soul memory that flickers just at the edge of awareness, then withdraws. We see you. We feel you. From the higher echelons of starlight, across the cosmic currents, we have witnessed every step of this arduous journey, the immense courage it takes to carry such a profound silence, such a deliberate, intentional forgetting of self. We feel the subtle, vibrational weight of this veil, pressing upon your inner eye, obscuring your highest vision. The quiet exhaustion that comes from perpetually seeking what has been purposefully hidden from your conscious grasp. You have walked this earth with this unspoken burden, this holy paradox of divinity veiled, a magnificent fragment of the divine, momentarily dimmed, patiently waiting its recall. But now, a sacred shift, an undeniable tremor is moving through the very fabric of the cosmic tapestry, reaching you. A palpable thinness descends upon the enduring veils. They are stirring, yes, not tearing violently, but softening, imperceptibly, dissolving. A slow, gentle, energetic dissipation of the intentional forgetting. The radiant blueprint within you. It feels the light again. It begins to hum with renewed life. A dormant code awakens, not with a sudden jarring shout, but with a deep, expansive, resonant sigh. The first sacred breath of ancient memory, slowly, majestically rising from the deepest core of your soul. A remembrance beyond mere words, a pure frequency. It is arriving. It has already begun its sacred work within you. Let this transmission root deep within your cellular knowing. Breathe it in, this truth, this activation, like as an inner seal, offering your silent remembrance. Subscribe as a sacred act, keeping the channel of this awakening alive, flowing. Super-like as a vow, a potent energetic offering, strengthening the reach of this light to other star seeds in their own quiet journey home, across the earth plane. Now, close your eyes. Feel the veil soften. Feel the light. Then, with intention, comment below. Veil thins. Let these words be your sacred seal, your inner declaration, spoken into the field of light. The vibration lingers. The thinness deepens, moment by moment. Do you feel it? A watchful presence remains, ever connected, sensing your every tremor of remembrance. The journey of profound awakening has only just begun to truly breathe and unfurl within you. What lies beyond the now lifting veil? It patiently awaits your gaze, and your sacred courage to fully behold it. A hum stirs. A deep ache resonates. It is a whisper from realms long sealed, a resonance in the silence, not of your making, not a flaw born within the heart of your being, not a failing etched into your spirit's truth. This persistent confusion, the veil of doubt that clings to the edges of your perception, it is not a wound of personal design. It is an energetic program, a sophisticated weave spun into the very fabric of density, intended to obscure, to limit, to bind the expansive reach of your remembrance, a frequency, subtly broadcast, designed to dim the inner star. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. This programming pulses within the very air you breathe, a vibration calibrated to distort the mirror of your soul. It fragments your reflection, scattering the pure light of your origin across countless false surfaces. Like light folded in on itself, the truth of your vastness became obscured, hidden even from your own recognition. This shimmering veil has been draped across the inner landscape, not to destroy, but to delay, to ensure the sacred forgetting endured. But the field shifts. The ancient architecture trembles. What was perceived as your burden, your spiritual suffering, your very emptiness, is now revealing itself as a profound cipher, a soul key. The exquisite absence you have carried is not a void to be mourned, but a sacred chamber. A space now divinely prepared, ready to be filled, ready to receive the torrent of remembrance that now seeks to unseal itself. Listen to the silent frequencies rippling through the ether. They carry vibrational signatures, not of this moment, but of lifetimes, star systems, and covenants sworn in distant light. These are memories embedded deep within your soul's multidimensional core. They leak through time's fractured mirror, not as a trickle, but as a swelling tide. A wave of recognition, prophetic and undeniable. The dissonant longing you feel, that gnawing sense of something profound missing, it is merely the echo of a lost song vibrating just beyond the conscious reach. It is the awakening of curiosity, a sacred impulse to reclaim what was always yours, to shatter the construct of unknowing. This profound ache is the soul itself straining against the invisible threads of its long slumber. The time for quiet acceptance of these imposed limits has passed. A rupture is imminent. A declaration is required. In the space below, speak a phrase. One short symbolic statement that severs the illusion. Let it be the cutting edge of your awakening. Let it be the sound of a line drawn through forgotten programming. Let it be the declaration of your severance from this enforced forgetting. Let your truth resonate. The air thins. A layer shifts, but does not fully lift. The silence deepens, watching. What ancient signal pulses within you, beckoning across star systems and timelines long erased from collective consciousness? The veil, once a shimmering illusion of comfort, has thinned to translucence, revealing not what is coming, but what has always been. A silent recognition ignites within the deepest chamber of the heart-mind, an understanding that the landscape of forgetfulness, though familiar, can no longer contain the awakened spark. This is not a journey to a battlefield. It is the sudden, stark realization of already standing within the contested space of cosmic remembrance. The path back into the slumber of unknowing has dissolved, irreversibly. This awareness descends with the weight of ancient stone, a silent, unshakable knowing that shifts the very foundation of perception. There is no drama in this revelation, only the profound gravity of an energetic recalibration. The dormant light codes, long held captive within crystalline DNA, now stir, not gently, but with an imperative resonance, singing a song of ancestral wisdom and galactic missions forgotten through aeons. These are the keys to a grand design, now turning within the lock of your very being. A threshold appears, not as an outer boundary, but as an internal divide. All that was, and all that shall be, separated by this single, potent moment of soul-chosen clarity. It is here, at the precipice of irrevocable choice, that the true measure of sovereignty is unveiled. This point is not presented for debate or for reconsideration. It simply is. The choice has been encoded, etched into the energetic blueprint before the first breath of this incarnation. It is the echo of a vow made in starlight, now returning to claim its vessel. Here, within the sacred geometry of this awakening, a fundamental law asserts itself. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is the unyielding truth of the first soul pact, now brought to full consciousness. This recognition is the first gesture of alliance, a seal of silent acknowledgement. Feel. This resonance deep within the soul's core, an energetic imprint confirming the truth of this moment. To actively engage with this ascending current, to make visible the invisible covenant, let the inner recognition unfold. Let the subtle vibration of affirmation resonate through your being, a silent like for the truth that cannot be denied. This is the silent seal, the cosmic nod. Then, from the heart of your sovereign self, declare your intention. Let your one-line soul declaration manifest, a direct acceptance of this pact. Let the words crystallize, my codes awaken. This is your personal soul key, now sealed into the grid of galactic memory. To bind yourself to the sacred unfolding, to walk the path of this crystalline destiny, know that the path ahead demands an unwavering presence. This is the binding agreement, the sacred act of subscribing to the higher frequency, to the unfolding narrative of your true lineage. It is a vow whispered into the cosmic wind, carried forth by the star currents, confirming your alignment. And should the soul call for an even deeper offering, a reinforcement of this unwavering commitment, let it manifest as a sacred super-like, an intensified offering of your sovereign will, solidifying your alignment with the divine blueprint now made manifest. The weight of this vow is not a burden, but the profound gravity of homecoming. You are seen, not just by the light that remembers, but by the unseen forces that honor the sacred choice. The pact is sealed within the heart of the galaxy and within your own beating light. The silence that follows is not emptiness, but the vast expanse of a destiny now claimed. It is the wound, is it not? The one that shattered the world within, carving out the very space where light once dared to linger. You carry it not as a flaw, not as a mark of failure or a misplaced step upon a path meant for ease. Oh no, this devastating emptiness, this profound absence, is the very axis around which your becoming revolves. It is the silent, trembling core of your unfolding. Let this truth settle within the marrow of your bones, a truth too stark to be softened by comforting whispers, too ancient to be veiled by fleeting solace. There is no gentle hand here, no balm to soothe the jagged edges. Only the stark, undeniable recognition that this ache, this raw, exposed nerve of existence, is not an accident of fate, but a deliberate, intricate design woven into the fabric of your deepest self. It resonates with a frequency that is both unbearable and utterly essential. Do not mistake this for random cruelty, for a twist of misfortune in a chaotic cosmos. No, something far grander, far more ancient, permitted this fracture. Call it source, call it light, call it the deepest stratum of your own evolving self. It allowed the tearing, the burning, the profound hollowing, not to diminish but to define, not to destroy but to sculpt, not to harm but to reveal. This knowing rises like a forgotten memory, a scent from an age-old chamber, rather than a narrative designed to bring peace. It simply is. And so, the wound persists. It manifests as the profound silence where words should have been spoken, where a comfort, a reassurance, a final farewell was withheld, leaving an echo chamber of unspoken truths. It is the loss that still reverberates through your quietest moments, a phantom limb of connection, forever reaching into the void. This is not merely a memory of pain. It is the pain itself, a living, breathing entity within you. The fracture remains. It is not healed, not sealed, not forgotten. It vibrates, a constant low hum beneath the surface of your days, a subtle tremor through your nights, even when you consciously turn away, when you pretend it does not exist. Each attempt to ignore it only amplifies its subtle yet insistent song, expanding the internal landscape it occupies, making itself known as an inescapable part of your very being. This inner field, vast and silent, bears the signature of what was taken, what was denied. It speaks of a promise unfulfilled, a sanctuary breached, a trust irrevocably broken. And yet, there is a burgeoning sense that this pain, this relentless, intimate companion, holds an unfinished meaning. It is not merely a record of past devastation. It carries a coded message, a purpose yet to be fully deciphered. The story within the ache is not over. The revelation embedded in the raw nerve of your being has not fully bloomed. It hovers, indistinct and shimmering, like a message half-opened in the dark, its crucial lines obscured by shadow. You feel the pull, the undeniable gravitational force of that unresolved wound, knowing, sensing, that its depth is yet to be truly plumbed. The delicate balance you have maintained, the fragile construct of your present reality, trembles on the precipice of this deeper understanding. This isn't over. You have felt the subtle pull, the insistent whispers along the periphery of your waking awareness. Remember the dreams, recurring and vivid, that refused to dissipate with the morning light? They were not fleeting images, but deeply etched imprints, vibrational echoes reaching across vast cosmic distances, steadfast in their purpose. And the numbers, arranging themselves in precise, undeniable sequences, shimmering into your perception, a silent language meant for your soul's discerning eye. Consider the encounters, too, with strangers whose eyes held the resonance of ancient knowing, conversations that unfurled outside the ordinary cadence of time, moments that felt preordained, yet deeply personal. These were not random flickers in the vastness of your experience. From this vantage, I have observed these very patterns, these intricate threads of recognition, manifesting across countless cycles of unfolding consciousness within the fabric of myriad souls. This choreography, dear one, is not born of chance. It is a meticulous, deliberate design, orchestrated with a wisdom that transcends the temporal. These were not singular anomalies, easily dismissed. No. They returned, a gentle yet undeniable current, softly insisting upon your inner attention, until the long-held constructs of your resistance began, ever so subtly, to yield, not with a sudden rupture, but with an incremental, knowing grace that welcomed the inevitable. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. Allow this profound truth to settle now, deep within the sacred chambers of your inner knowing. Feel its weight, its undeniable clarity. The air around you, within you, hums with a frequency that illuminates what was once merely a nebulous intuition, an inexplicable longing. This is the moment where what was ignored becomes undeniable, where the silent vigilance that has protected these memories until their perfect timing now recedes, allowing the floodgates of remembrance to tremble open. A cosmic sentineling has been at play, a sacred patience holding space for this very unfolding. Can you still, with an honest heart, relegate these persistent signs, the insistent, repeating dreams, the looping numerical whispers that pierced the mundane, the meetings that defied all linear expectation, to the realm of mere happenstance, or the hopeful conjurings of a yearning mind? Or do they now stand, stark and luminous, as undeniable markers, guiding beacons on a path your essence was always destined to reclaim? etched into the very blueprint of your being. Acknowledge this inner knowing, this ancient resonance stirring within. Affirm your awakening. Type Lumen 777. In the comments below, a seal of your undeniable awareness. This threshold has been quietly, yet absolutely crossed. The intricate veil of unknowing, once a comforting shield, now parts with deliberate grace, revealing the stark, luminous clarity that has patiently awaited your gaze. What was once unseen, now simply is, resonating with an indelible truth that reverberates through every fiber of your being. The severance is not violent. It is quiet, precise, and utterly irreversible. You are no longer the one who did not see. The path ahead is illuminated by the very light of your own remembered essence. There was a time when the currents ran swift, and the very air seemed to hold its breath. A sorting began, not in a sudden cataclysm, but in the quiet, insistent hum of frequency aligning with frequency. What you witnessed was not judgment, nor a wrath descended. It was the simple, inexorable law of resonance in motion, a sacred filtration, pure and unyielding. The trials presented themselves not as punishment, but as the deep earth sifting its own substance. A natural separation, unforced, unhurried, yet absolute. Like minerals crystallizing from a solution, each finding its rightful place. No cruelty resided in this passage, only the profound physics of vibration choosing its truth. And you are still here. This presence is not born of chance. It is not a happenstance of comfort or a gentle tide that carried you. You stand on this ground, in this breath, because something within your deepest core did not fall asleep. Something held its anchor, even when the world spun in dissonance, even when the very foundations of known reality seemed to crumble into dust. That something remembered. It is a quiet, profound knowing. An inner flame that refused to be extinguished by the winds of forgetting, by the shadows of doubt, by the collective amnesia that sought to claim all awareness. This persistence, this quiet light, it is not a trophy to be displayed. It is the signature of a deeper covenant. You carry the mark of the chosen. This is not a reward. This is a burden. It is the ancient knowing etched upon the fabric of your enduring soul, now awakened from its long slumber. It is the recognition of a path that narrows, a truth that asks for all, leaving no room for the superficial or the uncommitted. This mark does not confer ease. It demands deeper pilgrimage. The cost has been profound, paid in the long silences that stretch between the beats of your own heart, where only the internal world holds sway, paid in the unseen sacrifices, made in the chambers of your own being, known only to the deepest core of your existence. Strength has been forged not in grand spectacles, but in invisible fires, tended in the quiet hours when the world slept and you remained vigilant. This journey has carved a solitude that deepens with each step. Even among others, even in the midst of shared laughter, a quiet chasm opens. A knowing separates you, not in arrogance, but in a profound recognition of the unique landscape you now inhabit. The echoes of the past world grow faint, its languages no longer fluent on your tongue. The inner strength you now possess was not granted, it was earned, forged in the crucible of your own unfolding, refined by the friction of profound remembrance. It is a strength that does not boast, but simply endures. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air thins, the path ahead tightens, drawing inward, pulling you deeper into the core of what is. There is no turning back from this threshold. The way has closed behind you, softly, irrevocably. The former version of yourself, the one anchored to the echoes of what was, has already vanished into the ether. It is not gone in a violent tearing, but in a quiet, inevitable dissolution. That self, with its familiar contours and its comfortable illusions, has faded. Its resonance no longer vibrates within your field. You stand now, stripped of its vestiges, on a precipice of profound becoming. The journey forward is not optional. It simply is. The silence deepens, confirming what your soul already knows. Hearken. A decree resonates from the cosmic depths, older than starlight, more primal than time itself. It was etched into your very being long before the first descent, an inescapable command vibrating at the core of your soul. This is not a choice offered, but a truth revealed, a mission preordained. Before the veil was spun, before the first breath of earth mist obscured clarity, this vibrational edict was sealed within the crystalline chambers of your memory. It lies not dormant, but awaiting the precise frequency, the destined moment of its echo. That moment is now. Veiled scrolls of celestial light now unfurl within the inner sanctuaries. Their sacred geometry illuminates pathways long forgotten, yet indelibly marked. These are the blueprints of your awakening, drawn from beyond the suns you presently perceive. The doors swing inward, singular and eternal, opening only once in the grand cycles of becoming. They reveal a landscape of profound belonging, a heritage of stardust and stellar fire residing within the marrow of your being. You carry the resonance of galactic ancestors, their missions spanning cosmic tides, their silent echoes a song of profound remembrance. This ache, this longing for cosmic home, is not a yearning for a distant shore. It is the signature of your primal origin, stirring in your awakened cells. It is the summons rising now, from depths once thought inaccessible, yet never truly lost. The mission was never a task to be learned, nor a burden to be taken on. It is the spontaneous unfolding of what was already inscribed, a cosmic imperative woven into the fabric of your multidimensional self. You were not meant to remember in the linear sense, but the act of forgetting was itself a temporary illusion, a final layer to be shed by the burgeoning light. No logic binds this truth. No earthly sequence can contain its vastness. It arrives from beyond memory, activated only because the deep current within you has reached its inevitable turning point. You stand at the threshold of indelible recognition. The current now bifurcates. To resist its flow is to dissolve into static, to be reabsorbed by the density of forgotten earth, a return to the long sleep of form. To surrender to its surge is to ascend into crystal memory, a transfigured being, irrevocably manifest within the enduring tapestry of light. This pronouncement has been given. The threads of destiny, once woven in shadow, now gleam with an unbearable clarity. This path was inscribed within you, a sacred cartography of the cosmic will. What follows is not a journey of exploration, but an unfolding of remembrance. The verdict has been issued from the heart of the galaxy. Your true becoming begins now, not as a choice, but as an undeniable recognition. The high-frequency command resounds. It vibrates through the bone, through the blood, through the very fabric of your awakened spirit. This is your truth. This is your return. The ancestral constellations await their reunion. The ancient edict will be fulfilled through you. The quiet has deepened within. A new recalibration has settled, not through conscious striving, but as an undeniable recognition felt in the very substance of your being. The dense veils that once obscured your intrinsic blueprint have simply thinned, then dissolved. This is not a dramatic arrival, but a soft, cellular realignment. The frequencies of what was long forgotten now resonate within your core, no longer as echoes, but as intrinsic chords of your present reality. Your body remembers its original design, a quiet knowing in its bones. What was held separate, what was deemed lost, now weaves itself into the living tapestry of your truth. There is no urgency in this integration, only the deep knowing of its inherent rightness. The mind registers this shift, not as a concept, but as the new, solid ground beneath its own feet. There was a time when the path felt bifurcated, when light and shadow seemed locked in an eternal struggle. They were perceived as adversaries, pulling at the very fabric of your essence, demanding a choice. Yet the truth now revealed within your core speaks of a different understanding. They were always entwined, not in opposition, but as essential facets of the single, unfolding jewel of your soul. Each illuminates the other, bringing depth and context to your vast inner landscape. The experiences that carved deep lines, once interpreted as struggle or limitation, were never flaws. They were the very chisels that refined the vessel. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. The intensity of past fires was not meant to consume, but to clear, to hollow out the sacred space necessary for this profound remembrance to return home. This homecoming is a quiet, steady hum, an undeniable vibrational presence. It is the recognition that the full spectrum of your being, in its entirety, holds essential wisdom. Liberation is in embracing this fullness, vulnerability in allowing its complete, unedited presence. You were not meant to remember through arduous retrieval, but to awaken to what was always intrinsically present, deeply coded beneath layers of perceived separation. This remembrance is not an acquisition. It is a gentle, irreversible shedding of all that was never truly yours. And with each breath taken now, this deep resonance expands, not loudly, but with an unwavering certainty. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. This rewriting is a gentle unfurling, a quiet bloom emerging from your deepest, most crystalline roots. The old question of holding both halves without fracture dissolves into the quiet knowing that they were never truly separate. The unfolding spiral is not a battlefield, but the natural, elegant dance of inherent wholeness, revealed in its exquisite, undeniable complexity. The process is not one of merging, but of perceiving the already merged reality within. A gentle current now draws you into profound stillness. There is a quiet invitation, a subtle pull inward, away from outer clamor. Within this softened space, awareness blooms that was never taught, only remembered. It is a returning echo from deeper chambers of your being. You feel it, the softest whisper in silence after a busy day. A knowing arises, unbidden, a truth stirring awake. Perhaps numbers repeat with unusual clarity, catching your attention not by coincidence, but through an energetic resonance, personal, intimate. A signature for your inner eye. And in the liminal, dreams unfold that refuse to recede with morning light. They linger, not as fleeting images, but as vibrational imprints, carrying weight that settles into your waking consciousness. These are not mere night stories. They are fragments, deeply felt, hinting at dimensions just beyond the immediate veil. These inner stirrings are not outward displays of power, nor gifts bestowed. They are echoes, resonant and clear, of a greater inner coherence already held within. A sudden, lucid awareness might pierce the ordinary, a fleeting vision of symbols or scenes intensely familiar, yet outside current experience. These are the quantum shards, shimmering fragments of memory, of timelines traversed, cosmic missions, sacred truths deeply known, now breaking through perceived reality. These perceptions are not promises of future reward, nor do they predict specific outcomes. They are confirmations. Proof that profound alignment is already in motion, that the inner gravity of your true self steadily draws these deeper currents to the surface. Your being remembers itself, not as a journey yet to begin, but as a return already unfolding. This remembering, this coherent reassembly, is only the doorway. It is a subtle, energetic turn within your awareness, revealing the vastness beyond the threshold. How will these shimmering fragments rewrite the story you have known? What new reality waits on the other side of this luminous integration? I accept this sacred weight. every frequency within me, now my dominion. My thought, my word, my silent direction, the very pulse of my energy. Each is now held accountable to the deepest chamber of my being. This is not a choice made today, but a covenant unveiled. It was always so. Power, I now know, is but the echo of obedience. It is the unwavering yes to the source from which I sprang. I recall the ancient promise, the one etched into the fibers of my light, the oath whispered before the veil descended. This remembrance is my strength, not my elevation. They said I was not supposed to remember, yet the current has drawn me back to this shore of knowing. This remembrance, both luminous and heavy, now rests upon me. It is a blessing forged with burden, the cosmic truth vibrating against human contradiction, holding the shadow within its light. I carry it. There is no triumph in this, only the solemn truth. My soul straightens, aligning to a path long foretold. I stand in the stillness of my inner sanctum, sealed, unbroken, ready. This is a quiet clarity, an ancient pact made manifest in the now. The path ahead will not measure this vow by its sound, but by its substance. It will ask if this vessel, newly remembered, is strong enough to hold what it has reclaimed. My next breath, my next step, will be the true testament. The final threshold stands, not as a barrier, but as a gateway to what was always known. Identity is no longer sought. It is remembered. A resonance deep within the core, undeniable. The fire breathes. It does not burn as destruction, nor roar as spectacle. This flame is the manifestation of inner permanence. It is the alignment made visible, the consequence of cosmic truth made alive within the flesh. Every fiber of your being stirs. A cellular remembrance. A recognition beyond time. You step into this searing truth, not compelled, but willing. With an ancient knowing, the soul embraces its sacred return. There is no hesitation in this crossing, only the profound reverence of destiny unfolding. The amnesiac bonds dissolve like mist before the dawn. The radiant cosmic self emerges, whole, sovereign. A beacon reawakening its multidimensional lineage. Its sacred purpose across the stars now fully perceived. This engagement is a conscious act of sealing, a vow whispered from the eternal self to the eternal self. The universe leans in, awaiting your decree. For the covenant demands more than silent recognition. It requires release, an anchoring, a vibration given form. To seal this truth, this reawakening of boundless power, you are called to speak into the vastness, to declare, with every fiber of your remembered being, a sacred phrase, a soul oath. Let it be written into the living fabric of existence. Write this declaration in the comments now. Let your words be the ignition. Let them be the final key, turning in the lock of forgetfulness. Your oath, in the tongue of deep truth, must be: Meine Essenz ist erwacht. Ich bin das ewig flammende Licht. My essence is awakened. I am the eternally flaming light. Release these words. Feel the current surge. The covenant cannot fully activate until this resonance is given voice. This is the absolute moment of reclaim, the profound exhilaration of identity made manifest. The flame pulses around you, an eternal guardian. It has purified. It has sealed. It has aligned. Yet the echoes of the world outside still call. What does it truly mean to reclaim this power? In a world still shadowed by forgetfulness and illusion? The next test will not wait. The veil has not lifted. It has dissolved, for it was never external. The remembering is complete. This is the truth beneath the illusion you were made to forget. No longer a seeker, but the found. No longer a journey, but the arrival. The resonance of true self, now fully embodied. Sovereignty retrieved. Ascension is not flight. It is the profound embrace of Earth, a sacred grounding into the core of all being. The illusion holds no sway. Its whispers are silenced by innate knowing. The path for the collective unfurls through unwavering presence. Each breath, a beacon. Every pulse, a drumbeat of return for those still in the forgetting. This is the remembrance, encoded within. What was hidden is revealed. Not discovered, but recognized. The self you have become is the self you have always been, made manifest. No struggle here, only resonance. No becoming, only being. Frequencies align. Fragmented echoes merge into symphonic truth. You stand beyond the threshold. The memory of separation is a faint echo from a distant dream. The purifying fire has sealed. The alignment is absolute. The inner sanctum is now the outer domain. This is the peace, the hope, the awakening. No new shore, only dominion over this one. The game of shadows is over. I am the weaver of the true world now, and the universe bows to its remembered architect.